What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We out here with another reaction. This time, this is a Patreon request. We're taking a look at a wide awake motion device. Okay. Now, as is with a Patreon request, sometimes when I'm listening to music for the first time, especially when I'm listening to artists for the first time, I like to have the lyrics. Okay. Now, my Patreon, he left the lyrics in the comments for me. He even gave me a little bit of information about this band. He was saying that they're from Toronto, and there's two sisters, a brother, and a cousin. Okay, and it says a lot of their lyrics are political or philosophical, and it says in this case, this one is very political. Okay, so which is interesting, right? Because we'll say today is November. What's today? It's the 2nd. Yes, today is November 2nd, and then tomorrow's election day. So, right, good timing, right? So let's go ahead and shut up, turn it up, and find out what Wide Awake's all about. Hold on before we go into the lyrics. You know that old saying, sometimes the ends justify the means. What's interesting is that, right when they got done with that intro, right before we get bridged right into the lyrics and everything, you don't realize how explosive of an intro that was until after the fact, where they just went almost, it wasn't necessarily mute, but letting the bass guitar pretty much run it, right? Not only that, but we didn't get that much action from the rhythm section of the guitar as well. Let's run that back real quick. See, the snare slowed down, and we're just getting a hi-hat and a little bit of action on a drum. What do you call that? The kick bass. I forgot what you call it. For some reason, I'm forgetting what it's called. But it's that elongate at the beginning, right? It's right there. I don't think we hear. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think we hear a melody until much later. I think it's kind of elongated, and then we hear that melody. But like I said, it's that muting of everything brought down to a halt that makes the beginning of that much dynamic and prepares us for the vocals. That's what we talking about, baby.
It's hard to see past this confusion. They've tried their best to make us blind. An endless spiral of deception. Peel back the hair, see what you find. Welcome, my friends, to the grandest illusion. Please take a seat. Don't be deceived. Open your mind to the endless vibration. Free from the lies. Truth never dies. It never dies.
There it goes again. See, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the fact that it's just elongated, but it's just the way that it's just soothing in my ears right now. It just makes me recollect on what just played, right? That's just so amazing. Okay. So it's hard to see past this confusion. They tried their best to make us blind. Well, now that I know that this song is very political, then I'm going to think of it in like a political sense when they say it's hard to see past confusion. Try to make sure they tried their best to make us blind, right? So I'm sitting here thinking that, you're sitting here living this like really comfy life when you're paying your taxes and everything, when slowly but surely something's coming around that's going to bite you in the butt. It's just one of those matter of times, right? And I feel like when it comes to like political, right, and the government and everything, they're really good at playing the time game, right? I think they understand that when it takes a long time for things to happen, people's attention towards the subject gets very small and smaller and smaller before they don't care anymore. And all of a sudden, something that they used to care about has grown into this big thing, and then you're wondering, how could I have missed it? You know what I mean? I always like to think of it as a time game. They definitely play the long haul. That's why I'm thinking when it says they tried their best to make us blind. I think that is their best. An endless spiral of destruction, peel back the layer, see what you find. So basically revealing what's underneath. Endless spiral of destruction, an endless spiral of deception, because even if, and this leads into the second one, but even if you find the truth to that deception, you'll find out that truth that you found was actually a deception of another truth, which is also another deception. And then bring my friend to the grand illusion. So they're almost kind of making it seem like, hey, this is a stage, right? Everything you're seeing is just a stage. It's just a performance that's pulled over your eyes, right? And then it said, don't be deceived. Open your mind to the endless vibration. That's interesting. Free from the lies. Truth never dies. It never dies. It's almost as if this is kind of counteracting to what I just read in the first lyrics. Welcome, my friends, because it's like if I was the evil person and I wanted you to believe my lies, I would invite you right here to my table and I would tell you these things and tell you that it is the truth, right? It's almost kind of counteractive. The first one's like, hey, it's hard to see, it's confusion, right? An endless spiral of deception, and then the second one's like a call and response. You know what I mean? It's probably not that, but that's what I'm thinking right now. All right, I've been talking too much. Let's get back to it. I can get very talky.
Through all the smoke and cracking mirrors, the magic starts to fade away.
Revealing the truth.
The respite slowly loosening, the helpless creatures rise as the masters lose control. Welcome, my friends, to the cruel misconception. Following rules, looking like fools. We want no part of your pointless addiction. These prison doors won't
Okay, now obviously you're right. Musical structure, so we got an epic solo that's about to come on. So okay, now that I completely forgot that second part of it, like welcome my friends to the grand illusion. I totally forgot that was in the form of a chorus, while everything else is in the form of lyrics. So it's almost as if this is I know it's political, but it's almost as if this is like one of those like protesting movements, right? You think about you going into a hidden building, and then you have your spokesperson sitting there, and they're just sitting there talking about things that needs to happen, like a revolution kind of speech. That's what I'm thinking about right now, especially when it was like, welcome to the cruel misconception, pretty much opening your eyes and telling you all the issues that's going on around. Through all the smoking, crackling mirrors, the magic starts to fade away, grass slowly loosening. So that's basically you just coming to realization that you're being fooled and you're being deceived, right? The magic starts to fade away. So you know the saying, ignorance is bliss. Well, that bliss is starting to fade away, and you about to get a whole lot smarter, but also it comes with a whole lot more despair. Grasp is slowly loosening. The helpless creatures rise. Now, the grasp, right? Because the grasp they have on your life, and the reason why they say they're helpless creatures is because they've been deceived for so long, right? It's like if you coddle something for too long, let's say you have like a baby kid, right? And you never let that kid walk, right? You always have them on your hips. Well, as soon as you put them down, they're gonna have trouble walking. It's kind of like the same, right? They've been deceived for so long, they didn't really know what the truth is. So the helpless creatures rise because the grass is loose, the wool has been pulled over, and they're helpless, but they're going to learn, right? As their masters lose control. Okay, most of this stuff is pretty straightforward. Welcome, my friends, to the cruel misconception, following rules, looking like fools who want a part of your pointless audition, right? I'm sitting here thinking of like marionettes kind of control you and everything. And I say auditions because it's a deception, but they've made you want to be a part of it, right? So they're going to make you work for this deception that they pulled over your eyes. Now, ain't that interesting? Okay. These prison doors won't hold anymore. Pretty much straightforward. So let's go ahead and get to this guitar low. You got some emotion in this guitar low as well.
Frustration only feeds the game.
that the amp? You know, when you hear stuff like that, it makes you want to think, you know, why would the artist want to include what sounds like, you know, kind of like the reverb or the sound that you get when you listen to like an amp, right? Like when you plug in your guitar. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but you guys know what I'm saying. So that was interesting. I'm gonna turn back to that. So kind of like these last words. It makes no sense to point our fingers, right? You know the old saying, when you point a finger, you got three more pointing right back at you, right? You point somebody, that make you more like a hypocrite because you've committed the same things you're judging them for. So frustration only feeds their game. Of course, you know, my dad used to tell me all the time, you know, you can't let other people control your emotions, because as soon as they did, that's when they win. Right? Somebody comes up to you and they call you out and they shut you up. Not shut you up. They call you out and they say all these mean stuff to you. They're trying to get inside your head, but it absolutely has no effect if you just keep calm. And then in turn, it actually makes them angry. So I like that when it says frustration only feeds their game. Right? Because then you start making stupid decisions, and that's strengthening the veil and the deception that they have over your face. We're not all saints, that's not all sinners. That's really interesting, right? Because we always look at the enemy and then automatically assume that they are in the wrong, not really knowing that we have been in the wrong as well. So stop looking for somebody to blame. You know, that just brings me back to that Michael Jackson song. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change, right? You got to change within yourself before you can expect change from somebody else. So stop looking for somebody else to blame and fix yourself, right? Okay. I see through you, I am wide awake. So, yeah, I think at the beginning I accidentally called the band Wide Awake, but the band is not Wide Awake. It's called Motion Device. So I do apologize for that. Okay, so that's the lyrics. Now we want to talk about the music, right? So like I said, at the beginning, explosive, right? And then it dived down into something like really nice and mellow that kind of referenced how big that was. And then we went right back into it again and we went back to the chorus, right? That was pretty straightforward. But what I want to talk about is more towards the end, right? During the end, there was a part in there where the guitar kind of, what do you want to call that? It's not necessarily a reverb, but it was like, and then it started playing a little bit more. Now, what's interesting is what this reminded me of was when you sitting here and you snapping your fingers and you trying to think of something that you forgot and you're like, oh, like it just came to you. But the whole entire time you were thinking about it, it was sitting there on the top of your tongue, right? So when you hear that, right, that moment right before the build up is that moment of it sitting on your tongue. And then when you finally think about it, you're like, aha, right? So reason why I bring that up is because that sound kind of gave me the sense of somebody literally coming to the light, like eyes opening up, right? If that type of feeling had a sound, that's what it would be. And then the guitar, right, playing on top of the bass line and everything, you know, the rhythm section the rhythm section played the same thing over and over again, which I'm also going to get into that. The solo gave me an idea of something like representing change. You know what I mean? Like you stripping off all the not clothes, but you stripping off all these deceptions, you tearing through all these illusions and everything. And the reason why I wanted to point out the bass line was because it looks like the bass line, although it was staying the same, it almost kind of changed or had a different nature depending on what the guitar was playing, and it kind of gave it like that sense of what do you want to call, like freedom, right? Like things were being stripped away, right? So that's what I was thinking. And then you hit me with that whatever that tone was, right? Which is kind of giving me the idea of a more raw sound, right? So as if you've been stripped away all of these things that made you who you was, and now you've reverted back to the normal so you can see things clearly without any type of what's the word I'm looking for? Any type of interruption. So now you're just looking at things raw, in the raw. And that's what I got with that ending. So like I said, man, I have no idea what I be thinking about, man. Most of the time, I just be talking to you guys about what I think. Somehow you guys like it. I have no idea why, but most of the time I'm sitting here talking, I think I'm just saying some stupid stuff, but but it's fun to share, So this was a good song. I definitely liked it. Definitely need to check out more about them. It's always nice to know a little bit about the band that you're reacting to, right? Feel like it's more of a personal connect. And this is a family band, so you know they got that chemistry that, you know, 5 other people just can't have, something they're just born with. And I think you can hear that in the music. So it was an awesome song. You guys let me know what y'all thought down in the comments. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.